Today we're revealing 8 body numbers that can save your life. Our next one is especially important for women. It's hormone levels, which can affect everything from your skin to your mood to fertility. And like many women, Hannah suffers from embarrassing hair growth. She fears that her hormones may be to blame.
When I look in the mirror, I don't see myself. I'm a woman, but I have a 5 o'clock shadow. When I hit puberty, I realized something wasn't quite right with my body. The first place I started noticing excess hair was my chin, my neck, my mustache, sideburns. And then on my chest, that was scary. It felt like I wasn't a woman. I did try waxing, and that was a disaster. I shave daily, if not twice a day, and that makes me feel really self-conscious. It's such a shameful, taboo topic. It's not fair. Why am I this way? I don't want people to judge me. I remember just the look on this man's face, like disgust. It was traumatizing. I took a long break from dating because I have been afraid. What will happen if they feel stubble when our cheeks meet? I need to deal with this. I don't know what my hormone levels are like. If there is new medication out there now, I'm clueless.
We have Hannah here with us today. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
So you've been looking for answers, and Lisa ran a panel of hormones.
Right, because today we're all about numbers, and you wanted to know the numbers of your hormone levels, thinking that something's out of whack, right? And you described it very beautifully in the, and so bravely in the video, and you're doing something wonderful for all the women out there who are suffering from very similar things. Hair growth, that's usually sort of male pattern hair growth, right? And if you don't mind showing that to us, that would be great.
Yes.
Yeah. And so
Pretty
you have
emotional.
to do, I mean, you know, we're all about your quality of life and you feeling good about yourself as a woman. And so you're thinking that probably maybe your female hormones aren't right, right?
Yeah.
So we tested your hormone levels, and especially your testosterone, because that's the male hormone that produces like the male pattern hair growth. And if it's larger in women, then it can sometimes cause, you know, more of that hair growth in women. So the normal testosterone level is 14 to 80. Your testosterone level was 49.8. But sometimes medications and other things can make that in the normal range when it really isn't. So sometimes those don't actively reflect that.
Is that more accurate?
It's different. It's different. Okay, what we see a lot of times in the clinical picture is that you've got something going on that's produced by high levels of testosterone, whether you see those numbers or not. Sometimes we have to put it in a big picture. Now, the other thing that can happen is the ovaries, which also produce testosterone, can sometimes be out of whack. And sometimes our periods, which are the vital signs for women, can tell us if those hormones are out of whack. Because if your periods are irregular, and are your periods irregular?
Yeah.
Yeah, if your periods are irregular, then probably those hormones, specifically follicle stimulating hormone. And that's the hormone that triggers the ovaries to release the egg every month. And what happens if that's in a bad ratio with something called LH, and we look at the ratio, not just the FSH number, but the FSH-LH ratio, then that can mean that the ovaries being irregularly stimulated and having a lot of cysts on it. So your FSH-LH ratio, in a syndrome that we know is called polycystic ovarian syndrome, it's usually greater than 2. Your ratio was just under that, okay? So it still didn't fit, but again, there are other medications and things that can skew the picture, all right? Because in this diagnosis that you totally fit the criteria, which is called polycystic ovarian syndrome, you can have 3 symptoms of that, and you actually have all 3. The 3 symptoms are irregular periods, male pattern hair growth, or what we call hirsutism, and obesity, okay? Right. And so even with the numbers, and especially with some medications that can make them skewed, you fit the diagnosis, okay? And ultrasound showing ovaries with cysts on them, okay? And you have those as well, right? Yeah. So you fit the criteria. For other women, sometimes birth control pills can help because it helps balance all those hormones out that are imbalanced and regulate the periods and things like that. Sometimes just weight loss, and we've been talking about weight on the show, because fat actually produces hormones, okay? And that could definitely, that's a big part of PCOS. But one of the things you can do is start to get rid of the hair, and then we treat you so that it doesn't come back, and that you feel good about yourself, and that you can go out there and live the kind of life that you want and be an outgoing, wonderful woman that I can see that you are.
Thank you.
Okay? So I think we're gonna help you with that today.
We're going to not only help you get further treatment for the underlying problem, but Tria home laser treatment, they're the only home laser treatment for hair removal, is giving you a free home laser kit.
You get to take this home, and it works by thermolysis. So basically, it uses the laser to work right at the hair follicle. And again, in combination with some other medications and things like that, we can probably keep this away. This is something that we can treat for you. Okay, and we're going to help you with this with a group of doctors.
And thank you for sharing your story with us.